March 8, 2014. A massive passenger jet carrying 239 people suddenly vanished from the sky. No distress call, no explosion warning, no emergency signal. The aircraft was a modern Boeing 777, one of the safest planes ever built. It had just taken off from Kuala Lumpur and was heading to Beijing. Everything looked completely normal. Then suddenly, the plane disappeared from radar. Air traffic controllers tried calling the cockpit. No answer. Military radar later revealed something even stranger. The plane didn't crash immediately. Instead, it turned around, quietly, silently, and flew in the opposite direction for hours. But here's the terrifying part. No one knows who turned the plane or why. And what investigators later discovered inside the cockpit changed this mystery forever. Within hours, the disappearance triggered one of the largest search operations in aviation history. Countries across Asia deployed ships, aircraft, and satellites, because losing a plane this large in the modern world should be impossible. Before we continue, please subscribe to our YouTube channel because no one else can give you research-driven videos like ours. Now the mystery deepened. Military radar in Malaysia showed the aircraft suddenly turning west. Even stranger, two systems were switched off. First, the transponder disappeared. Then the ACARS data stopped. These systems rarely fail together. Someone inside the aircraft likely turned them off, which means the plane may not have simply vanished. Someone may have made it disappear. When investigators examined radar data more closely, they noticed something chilling. After turning west, the aircraft followed a very precise flight path. It passed through multiple international airspace boundaries, almost as if someone was carefully navigating between radar zones. This was not random flying. This looked deliberate. Even more disturbing, the plane climbed to an extremely high altitude shortly after turning around. Some experts believe this maneuver may have caused oxygen levels in the cabin to drop. If that happened, passengers could have slowly lost consciousness, leaving only one person still in control of the aircraft. Meanwhile, satellites belonging to Inmarsat continued receiving faint signals from the aircraft. These signals were called handshakes, and they proved something shocking. The plane was still flying for nearly 7 hours after it disappeared. But where it went next remains one of aviation's darkest mysteries. Using satellite data, analysts began drawing arcs across the globe. Each arc represented the possible location of the aircraft during its final hours. There were two possible routes, one leading north toward Central Asia and another leading deep into the southern Indian Ocean. If the plane went north, it would have crossed multiple countries with strong radar systems, but no nation reported seeing it. That left only one possibility. The aircraft had flown south, far south, into one of the most remote oceans on Earth, an area so vast and empty that even today, parts of it remain barely explored. Search teams deployed ships, underwater drones, and aircraft across thousands of square miles. But month after month, they found nothing, until debris started appearing years later, thousands of miles away. In 2015, a piece of aircraft wing called a flaperon washed up on the island of Réunion. Investigators confirmed it came from the missing plane. Over the next few years, additional debris appeared along the coasts of Africa and nearby islands. Ocean drift models suggested the wreckage had come from somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. But despite the largest underwater search in aviation history, the main wreckage of the aircraft has never been found. No flight recorder, no cockpit voice recorder, no final message. Without those black boxes, investigators cannot know what truly happened inside the cockpit that night, which leaves one terrifying possibility. Someone on that plane deliberately flew it into the most remote ocean on Earth and made sure it would never be found. In 2015, a piece of aircraft wing called a flaperon washed up on the island of Réunion. Investigators confirmed it came from the missing plane. Over the next few years, additional debris appeared along the coasts of Africa and nearby islands. Ocean drift models suggested the wreckage had come from somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. But despite the largest underwater search in aviation history, the main wreckage of the aircraft has never been found. No flight recorder, no cockpit voice recorder, no final message. Without those black boxes, investigators cannot know what truly happened inside the cockpit that night, which leaves one terrifying possibility. Someone on that plane deliberately flew it into the most remote ocean on Earth and made sure it would never be found.